is no doubt in my mind that Kalbarri is one of our state's greatest tourism attractions. It is absolutely beautiful here, and if you want to check out those gorgeous terrestrial native orchids, then you're really going to find the September-October period of the year is one of the best times to come. But remember, there are flowers all year round here. Now, speaking of flowers, you're probably wondering where those gorgeous carpets of everlastings are. Well, that's my next stop, and I'm going to blow your mind. I'm taking the inland road to the Great Northern Highway. We're headed back to Northampton and then inland, taking the scenic journey to the Chapman Valley, which is just northeast of Geraldton. And the further you drive here, the more colour you see. It's not just limited to wildflowers. These canola fields give the wildflowers a pretty good run for their money. And like the wildflowers, this display is only for a relatively short time each year. Magnificent. But back to those West Australian wildflowers. As soon as you get out of Northampton and you're heading inland, you're going to see more and more pockets of them just like this as you're going along. And when it comes to taking photos, there'll be people who'll be willing to share tips and places that they've seen. There's so much going on here. This really is a very special part of WA. All this eye exercise can make you hungry. And one of the food highlights you'll discover in the Midwest is this place, the Burnt Barrel. It's about half an hour's drive out of Geraldton in the heart of the beautiful Chapman Valley. Everything here is made from scratch. And the menu, well, it's simply sensational. The owner, Laszlo, well, he's known as the pit boss. The award-winning chef owner here and his missus, whose real name is Tegan, they've come all the way from a top London eatery that specialised in Southern American smoked ribs. And it was all to set up in the rolling hills of the beautiful Chapman Valley. The restaurant boasts slow and low-smoked Kansas-style barbecue, the hottest trend in restaurants in Australia at the moment. Coupled with cold beers and ciders that have all been brewed on site, this is a place you could easily spend the whole afternoon. And it's a surprising delight, right out here in the middle of wildflower country. Wow, what a feed. Well, after that, it's time to go and see some more flowers, and I'm taking you out to Mullewa with me. There's a flower that's growing out there that is just so sensational. It's got people coming from all over the world to see it. Mullewa is on the edge of Australia's golden outback and the start of many of the trails to explore east and north in this region. The town has one of the more remarkable pieces of architecture, built by West Australian architect priest Monsignor John Hawes, who left his mark on the region with this unique style, and it makes for a great photo opportunity. But I'm going to keep driving today because just outside of Mullewa is the ghost town of Pindar, and something really interesting is happening just north of here. Keep an eye out on the side of the road. About 10 k's down the road from Pindar, you're going to find these markers indicating where you need to stop. You probably won't have to worry about that because it's a bit like being on the Mitchell Freeway at 7 a.m. There's cars stopped everywhere, all parked, admiring something very, very special. And here's the thing, you're going to find a lot of people who are in love with these flowers too. So you get a chance to get out, share some photographs with each other and admire one of nature's most beautiful flowers. Take a look at this. What does it remind you of? Foliage in the centre, delicate blossoms all around the outside. Their common name is the wreath flower, but they're certainly not a common plant. In fact, in the last few years, they've been few and far between. To put this year's display into perspective, 12 months ago on this track, there were about 50 plants. And today, I've counted at least 500. And such is the fascination for it that even this late in the day, people are still arriving to take a look. Among them, wildflower photographers eager for the perfect shot. So Tony, you've been coming here for a long time.
Yes, over 45 years I've been coming to this area regularly while I was studying as a doctor, and then in between we follow the seasons, and this time of the year is when the magic is out, and this is one of their best years.
How would you rank it in the 45 you've been coming?
The best for me, you know, this is quite spectacular, just in the volume and just the display and the diversity.
Have you got any tips for photographers coming out to take photos?
The usual magic, just after sunrise for an hour or so, and before sunset.
Yeah.
And just after sunset, of course, different type of photography.
Now, this really is a very rare plant, and it's related to the blue leschnaultia that we see growing wild in the Perth Hills areas, and also often used in home gardens. This one is a lot harder to get your hands on. This is Leschnaultia macrantha, but if you can, it will actually grow in Perth gardens, and my goodness, how beautiful is this? In all honesty though, it's probably easier and a lot more fun to jump in the car and drive up here to Australia's golden outback to experience them in their natural environment. And you won't get a backdrop like this in the city at the end of a day exploring. Make sure you check out our website for more details.